Hello again. So weird. So weird. I don't know if it's my vibration that's keep continuously kicking me out of Facebook Live. This didn't happen at all. Um, it didn't happen at all on Monday. I don't know. So if I have an issue again, if it kicks me out again, I'm going to move to my phone because that's what I did last time and it was fine. But I don't know, guys. This is the weirdest thing. I keep getting kicked out, and the message that comes up is could not, it wasn't even like a Wi-Fi thing. It wasn't an internet thing. It was like a Facebook thing. It literally said could not post to your page. And I'm like, what does that mean? Anyway, super weird, guys. It happens, especially in this field. Anyway, so yeah, so this has been happening to me recently where I was walking down the street and I passed this guy walking and I just got this super odd feeling, like this super weird feeling like honestly, I got this feeling like this guy was going to stab me in the back. And I felt the pain, like I felt literally, and it was like the upper left side of my back. I literally felt exactly where this guy stabbed me in a past lifetime. And so the feeling was so overwhelming that he was going to turn around and just stab me in the back that I had to keep turning back and and just confirming to myself, no, this is a past lifetime. It's a past lifetime. This isn't going to happen in this life. And obviously it didn't. I'm still here. He didn't stab me, but we're seeing timelines converging at this time. Timelines converging, timelines converging. Okay. The biggest example, the easiest example that I can mention is deja vu. Who here, especially in the past 3 or 4 months, have had a very strong moment of deja vu? And I'll tell you personally that I've had such strong deja vu in the past couple of months that that like it'll be like a deja vu moment and it'll keep going and it'll keep going and then, but then I said this in the deja vu and then I just said that, and then because I said that, that was also a part of the deja vu and I'm like, what's going on? It's like weird. It's like by reacting to the deja vu you actually continue the deja vu. It was like the biggest trip of life. Anyway, so deja vu, oh yeah, like wave particle. So this is getting a little bit further into the quantum field, which is eventually, I truly believe you guys will start seeing things as waves, as waves. So sometimes on like material that's already pretty in flow, you'll see it more often. Like sometimes you'll take a look at a tree, and it'll look like the tree and all of the little leaves and the branches are all moving. And you take a look at it again and it's not moving. Did you guys ever see that? Like you look at something, like sometimes it happens with curtains with me, right? So I'm looking at the curtains and it's like the curtains are moving. And then I really look at them and they're not moving at all. This is a really good indication of stepping into a quantum field. And I used to do this way back in the day when I go downtown Toronto. You've got 80-floor skyscrapers, and I'm looking up at these skyscrapers, and they are literally in a wave formation. And I'm like, and then I look again, and they're solid. Then I look again, and they're waving. And I look again. So we are going to start breaking through the third dimension density and starting to see physical objects in a wave form. Has anyone ever seen that? You look at something, it looks like it's moving. You look at it again, and it's not moving. Have any of you ever had that? Let's take a look. Okay. Pamela Marie, you have very bad eyes, so you're not sure. Cheryl, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Lauren, I see my walls and waves. Yeah, sky and waves, interesting. Yeah, it's been a little while. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, Eileen. Very cool, very cool. Awesome. Okay, the last thing I want to mention about tapping into the quantum world and what you may be experiencing in this quantum world is the personal Mandela effects, right? So like, this is cool. I love this topic. So some people have experienced this with their backyard and their plants. So weird. But this one woman told me, I think she was from Australia, and she told me that there was a big bush, right? And 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when her and her husband decided to landscape their backyard, they decided to put this big bush in the right-hand corner of their backyard. But the second choice that they were going to make was putting the big bush right in the middle of the big yard, right? whatever, years go by, 15 years go by. She wakes up one day, she's looking at her backyard, she's thinking to herself, something's not right here. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's out of place? What's missing? What's going on? She's like, oh yeah, there used to be a bush in that corner. And then she's looking at the bush that's in the middle of her yard, and she's saying, that was it. That was the bush that was supposed to be in this right-hand corner, and yet now it's moved a solid 6 feet over, and now it's in the middle of the yard. So interesting. She brings this up to her husband. Her husband tells her, you're going crazy. I mean, the bush has always been in the center of the yard. That's what we chose to do 15 years ago. She's like, so for sure, we've never moved it recently. And he says, no, we planted this thing 15 years ago. It's been there for 15 years. I can't believe you don't remember putting it there. She's like, I remember putting it in that corner. And I remember that our second choice was the middle of the yard, but I don't remember making that choice in this reality. So another big symptom of hopping into this quantum 5D ascension is personal Mandela effects. Super interesting. Have any of you experienced any of your own personal Mandela effects? I experienced like a flood of personal Mandela effects right at the beginning of me opening up to the Mandela effect, but honestly, recently, I think I've been so sure of most of my decisions or all of my decisions that I haven't really experienced too many Mandela effects. So say, for example, a good example, simple example would be like this. And then I feel around, I'm like, okay, cool. This is the pen that I'm choosing right now today. But because I have 4 pens here, there was a, 75% chance, I don't know what the percentage is, I'm not good with math, that I was going to choose, any one of these other ones, right? And 25% chance that I was going to choose this one. So all of a sudden you're writing with the pink pen and you flip into the reality where you actually ended up choosing the blue pen. When we are unattached to the choices that we make, it's easier to be in flow and lucid with that current state of reality. Therefore, it's easier to actually ascend or move that state of reality into another state of reality. When we don't react, when we don't attach, and we don't have any sort of perceivable outcome of the expectations, we can flip our reality very easily. Cool. Awesome. Some really good experiences here in the comment section. Love it. So a couple of things that I kind of already mentioned, but I want to go through them one more time. So quantum evolution to the 5th dimension. Everything is simultaneous in the quantum world. Everything, every choice that you make. So the choice of whether or not to burn the Palo Santo or the white sage. I don't care either way. Both of them do, quite good work. So I'm going to choose the sage, and then all of a sudden you're smelling Palo Santo or what have you, right? So technically in the quantum world, technically in the 5th dimension, I actually chose both of those choices. I chose to burn the sage and the Palo Santo, which is really cool. And it kind of comes back to the age-old quantum physics experiment, which is Schrodinger's cat. You put a cat in a box, you put all these, you basically put a bowl of poison food in the box. Either the cat eats the food and dies, or the cat doesn't eat the food and lives. While we are not observing the box with the cat in it, the cat is both living and dead. The cat is in a state of superposition. It is living and dead simultaneously. This is the state that we are getting into. But in order to really ascend into the quantum world and the 5th dimension, we have to let go of the choices that we're making. We do have to make choices. We do have to take responsibility over the choices that we're making, but we can't attach ourselves to the choice itself, or else we are limiting ourselves to what we perceive to be the outcome rather than just what could be the outcome. Say, for example, if I go into a corner store and I purchase a lottery ticket, and in my mind I'm like, oh, I've purchased, 1,000 lottery tickets, and every time I do, I don't win. I don't win the lottery. So you know what? I'm probably not going to win, but you know what? I'm going to try anyway. What kind of energy are you putting into the choice that you just made to buy a lottery ticket? I never win, probably not going to win. The odds are against me, blah, 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 blah. And here you are, not winning the lottery because you chose to create that reality for yourself, right? So if we're like, yeah, I'm going to buy this ticket, I don't know what the outcome is, and I think it's going to be good either way. Great. Well, guess what? It's going to be good either way. You're creating that outcome by setting an intention without the expectation and attachment, because that only creates limitation. Okay. Okay, so what else? Yeah, so everything is simultaneous. Time is simultaneous, like I mentioned 2 seconds ago, 2 seconds in the future, overlapping, converging. Cool. Emotion is simultaneous. In the past 4 months, and be honest, in the past 4 months, have you felt like, I am so in appreciation, I'm so happy, everything is in so much alignment, why don't I have the job that I have? I can't believe I'm not good enough to have that job. Have you guys been experiencing simultaneous emotion? It's a bit of a clusterfuck, isn't it? It's a little bit hard to deal with, isn't it? I'm so happy and I'm so sad and I don't know what I'm feeling. It's a quantum emotional state. And that's okay. That's totally okay. What else? In the present moment, we're having quantum physical experiences, which means as I'm walking down the street and I'm, without even having the visual, I'm reliving a past lifetime where I got stabbed in the back. So what am I experiencing in the present moment? I'm in the present moment that has nothing to do with being stabbed in the back, and I'm simultaneously experiencing the pain of getting stabbed in the back. Wow. We're simultaneously experiencing pain. We're simultaneously experiencing this physical world. So it's so interesting how we're bringing a 5th dimensional density into the 3rd dimensional limitations of this physical reality. We are experiencing a quantum world, and it's kind of chaotic, and it's kind of overwhelming, and it's kind of exciting, and it's kind of overwhelming and exciting all at the same time. It's a quantum emotional state. It's a quantum physical state. It's a quantum time state. And it's so funny because I've got a hater on my Facebook page, and I love it. I love it. And I forget what his name is, but he's like, what are you even talking about, Elizabeth? You're not even explaining what a quantum state is. Quantum state doesn't even exist. You know, you're just talking a bunch of BS, right? And I'm like, cool. All I'm talking about when I say a quantum state is I'm talking about something that goes beyond the linear, limited moment of time and space. Quantum, in my perspective, means simultaneous. Things are happening simultaneously, not linearly, okay? You can't be in a relationship anymore and say, you complete me. That relationship isn't going to survive 2020. It's not going to survive the 5th dimension. It's not going to survive the quantum ascension that we're currently going through. You got to come into a relationship saying, I have everything I could possibly need within myself. And by you coming into this dynamic, we're creating this beautiful quantum world together as whole individuals, not as separate pieces. Okay, what else do I have here? Decisions, like I kind of mentioned, the decision, you know, orange pen, green pen, it's a quantum decision. You technically chose both at the same time. Relationships, kind of mentioned, we can no longer be linear, limited, or individual or singular in a relationship. We are entering into these quantum relationships. And then simultaneously good vibes and bad vibes. We can have one day, we can have a single moment with all of the beauty and amazing of opportunities and things opening, while simultaneously everything else is collapsing. And the best thing to do is just appreciate the fact that you can experience both sides of the scale. It's amazing. Okay, cool. And then, you know, I just want to end it here with one more thing, which is a little bit of a skill, a little bit of a strategy for all of you in entering into this quantum state. Clearly, all of you are having these quantum experiences already. Hopefully this whole live video really resonates with you. Clearly, it doesn't resonate with Facebook, but that's okay. So the most important thing is free will. You have the free will to choose which option, which direction you want to be in. Right now in the quantum world, in the quantum state, in the state of the 5th dimension, you're getting all of the choices. You get this, and 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 you also get this. You get all of it. You get all of the choices. What do you do? What do you do in that moment with all of the choices? Do you sit in the overwhelm of all, what's the right choice? What's the wrong choice? What would Elizabeth April do? What would my mom do? What does the government want me to do? What is my boss? I don't know. Stop overcomplicating your life by thinking about the outside world and making a choice through obligation, and stop overcomplicating the choice that you have to make through fear, through attachment, through guilt, through emotion. You're overcomplicating it, and through the morality of right and wrong. None of that shit exists. It's all an illusion. It's all a projection from your human mind. Okay? The only thing that exists is what resonates with you in that present moment. That's it. Follow your highest excitement. Make choices based on your highest excitement. Be aware of all of the options, good, bad, and ugly. Don't be ignorant to the other outcomes. Make a choice, understanding all of the choices and possibilities. Own the choice that you make. If you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes and you have all the choices, but the main choice is being, do I smoke a cigarette or do I not smoke a cigarette? And you go ahead and you smoke that cigarette, well, own it. You made the choice. Take responsibility over it. Love the fact that you did it. Understand that you're getting rid of it and move on. Move on with your life. Stop overcomplicating things by attaching yourself to one choice or another choice or all of the outcomes and possibilities based on every choice that you could potentially make. Stop. Ask yourself, what is the most exciting thing to you in that moment? So for me, like this is a good example. A couple of days ago, this doesn't usually happen, but I had a free afternoon and I had like 3 hours, I don't know, in between the next podcast or whatever I was doing. And I said to myself, I was sitting there, okay, what are my choices right now? I could chill and watch TV. I could take a nap because I do love sleeping. I could do a workout and rollerblade ride. I could do some art and some painting. I could have a telepathic conversation with Grayson. I could do some emails. I could clean up the patio and water the plants. I mean, I went through all the options. I could make food for myself, or I could do nothing at all. I love being productive, and I feel like that's kind of feeding my ego a little bit. So I'm like, what excites me the most? Because I started to go into all the different options and the outcomes and all the things. Oh, well, I really should work out. It's been a little while. I'm kind of hungry, so I should eat. Oh, I really need to respond to some emails. That's super important, right? I mean, obligation, 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 blah, blah, blah. What am I most excited about? And the conclusion that I came to was literally taking a nap, which is doing nothing at all. And I had the best nap of my entire life, making that choice out of full excitement and fully owning that choice. Rather than half-assing it, making a choice, maybe you did make that choice, which is the better choice for you in that moment because it's intuitively aligned to what you need in that moment. So maybe you did make that choice, but there is so much guilt and so much shame and so much blame around making that choice because you should have been doing something else. Then you're making a choice, but you're not taking responsibility over that choice and fully owning it and appreciating and loving the choice for what it is, which is the relaxation of a nap, right? So choice is everything in the fifth dimension. Choice is everything in this quantum world. You have all the options in front of you. It is not your parents. It is not your boss. It is not your partner. It is not your friends. It is not your spirit guides. It's not your higher self. It's not your cosmic self. It's not me who is going to make that choice for you. Ultimately, it's you, and it has always been you, and it will always be you. And the sooner that you start to take your power back and understand that you are in full responsibility for creating everything around you, is the second that everything around you starts working for you, not against you. Okay? And with that, my beautiful beings of light, my teachers, the teacher tribe, I send you really good intentions, really good vibes, and I hope that this was an incredible quantum download for each and every one of you. And I want you to reiterate those affirmations. Everything I see, I create, and everything I create, I appreciate. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.